What is up, my veggies? My name is VTR, and welcome back to the movie review. And today we're going to be reviewing Jeepers Creepers from 2001. Now, before we get into this review, I do need to bring up the director and the writer and director, Victor Salva. So, for those of you that may not know, the director he did some pretty bad things, and a lot of people kind of just don't like this franchise because of that. I'm not going to go into the details and everything about it, but the way I look at it is separating the art from the artist. So that's all we're going to say about Victor Salva here. He was a bad dude. He did some bad things, and that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to go into any more detail here. Let's actually talk about the movie. Jeepers Creepers. What is our synopsis here? After making a horrible discovery in a basement of an old abandoned church, Tina and her brother Derry watch their routine road trip home from college turn into a heart-stopping race for their lives. They find themselves as the chosen prey for an indestructible force that relentlessly pursues them and gives a new chilling meaning to the old song, Jeepers Creepers. This movie is something, going into it, I didn't know what to expect going back, because I watched both the first and second movie years ago, and I don't hate this movie. I think this movie has some interesting things about it. First off, we'll start with positives. The Creeper is one of the most interesting horror antagonists that I like, because when I did a top 12 a few years ago, he was like, I think, number 11 on my top 12. I don't remember where exactly I put him, but he was on there because this franchise, these two movies were movies we watched a lot growing up, and so he is a interesting creature, and a lot of the makeup effects on this guy, even though there's sometimes you don't get to see him much of because the shadowing and the darkness, when you do get to see it, it is very much looks very nice, and it is. With that being said, the kills in this movie, there's not really much to write home about when it comes to kills in this movie. It's not. It's kind of like one of those movies where like the sequels do it a little more, better. But I did not hate this movie. I think it has some strong points, and definitely some weak points. Sorry about that. But this movie, I do think a lot of people have a soft spot for this film, and I think I do too. I don't love this movie. I think there are some there's some weird dialogue. It's like that's not time between the main two characters. A lot of time that just the bickering, like siblings. I applaud them for being like actual siblings, but not like. Do you see siblings argue like this that are like in their like early 20s? Like, that's a little bit like, come on, are you serious? That's what we're doing here. This movie is a little over the top at points with some of the creepers' antics, but it does have the movie does do some good emotional moment, a good emotional moment that I really, towards the end, that I feel is done to a pretty good degree. With that being said, I do enjoy where this some of the sequences in this movie, because there is some good built up tension at points, and obviously this movie jumps right into some like what in the world is going on type thing, and I feel like if you want a friend or something to watch the movie, put it on, don't tell them anything about it. I feel like letting them figure out the stuff about the movie would be really interesting. Don't tell them anything about the movie, just do it. But the movie, personally, for me, is just decent. I don't think it is anything to write home about. Like, there is some weird dialogue that I'm sorry. There's some weird dialogue that I'm not the biggest fan of in this movie, and I really wish some of it could have been cut or written better. And there are some dumb decisions. There's like a lot of people just like when they should be getting the heck out of there. Like even for a horror movie, they're like, this is dumb. But there's also some cool sequences. Also learning about how the creeper works and. There's this one character that is a psychic in this movie or whatever. And if you guys know, this is my thing because when I rewatched this movie a few years ago. I remember seeing the character and I'm like, if you guys seen the TV show Good Luck Charlie, Mrs. Dabney, I think that's how you say her name, Dabney, however you say it, is one of the characters is in this movie, that actress, and I thought that was kind of funny. Even though it has nothing really to connect, but this movie, though, was just... That character here, it feels kind of out of left field, and it's like, why do we need this? But also, you gotta explain the creeper somehow, I guess. And I feel like they could have done that to a little better degree than sorry, my brain just farted. A little better varying degree of... my mind is blank. They could have done that character a little better. They could have explained the stuff with the creeper and give us his backstory a little better than they did. But the critic reviews rating for this movie on Rotten Tomatoes is 46%, and audiences a 49%. So they're pretty close there, just 3 points off from each other. So most people don't see this as really a good movie. I think it's all right. It does fall short at points, and its start is probably its strong suit, but I do think a lot of people do hold this as one of their nostalgic horror movies, and personally, I can understand people that do not want to watch this, or because of the writer and director. I completely understand that if you don't want to watch this movie because of that. But yeah, that's really all I have to say for this review. What do you guys think of Jeepers Creepers? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Do you still enjoy the movie even though the director... Yeah. My personal rating, I think I will just be nice-ish and just give it I feel like solid down the middle, 2.5. I think is an alright spot to throw this. It's not horrible. It's not great. It's got its problems. And that's all I'm really going to say. Hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!